So I just went on my second ayahuasca journey, and I just wanted to talk about it real quick with some things that I experienced and learned on this journey. My first experience with ayahuasca was in January of 2021, and I explained about it in a earlier video. It was one of the first videos I made. But basically, I'll sum it up to the first time I felt like a full on had an exorcism, and I believe it has been confirmed. I will go a little bit more into that why I really feel that I did experience an exorcism. But this time, since I felt like it was getting out the infection, I felt that this journey I was actually able to really receive the medicine. The first night was not as visual as my first journey. It was more a lot of movement in my body, particularly in my lower chakras, which what I had explained before was that in my other video with my first ayahuasca experience, I felt like it was a lot of like my heart chakra release and throat chakra. And this one, I could tell there was like a lot of like swaying movement in like my pelvic area. At one point, it felt like my body was turning into a snake. It was moving so like sexy, elegantly. I don't know, like honestly, I didn't even know I could move like that. Like some of the moves were like kind of Michael Jackson-esque. So the first night was great. I really felt myself come into my femininity, and I felt like because of that, I was really integrating my like feminine sexual energy. Like, I know a lot of people have shame towards their just sex in general. And, I didn't even realize like how much of a thing it was for me until recently. And yeah, I could just feel like the flow of movement, just like in my first journey when it was releasing from my heart chakra and my throat chakra, it was very painful. I went into it being like no resistance, no resistance, and I guess there was still resistance because my body was like it was moving, but it was like contracting, so it was hurting. And this one, it was just like a flow, and it felt very releasing and natural at the same time. So the second night was a little bit deeper, a little bit different. I really felt that I made peace and, in a way, kind of became friends with my ego. Um, I Part of my story is that I've struggled with weight gain off and on my whole life, and up until recently, I'm almost at my weight loss of 75 pounds. I've lost over 60 pounds so far, so just a little bit more to go. And part of that was me realizing that I, this has been a 2.5 year journey of my weight loss, and it's weird. It's gone in like really big intervals. Like I've had massive weight loss the first 4 months, and then it was like stagnant for a year and a half. And then I had another massive weight loss for 3 months, and then right now it's kind of stagnant again. The last 10, 15 pounds or so. And I think a part of that was me needing to integrate my, I hate to even call her this now, but my fat kid. Like, I understand now why that weight gain came. And I actually always did understand. I knew it was there to protect me because my story, I've always gained weight when I've been very stressed, bad periods of my life. And, even though it's so obvious, I think I didn't really feel into that. It was kind of more just like, okay, I know, like I was upset, I was depressed, like, that's why I gained weight. It was there to protect me. All right, but let's go. I'm fine now. But like, I never really felt into the pain of why she was there to protect me. And I felt I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I want to say sorry, because that word, feeling sorry for someone gets a really bad rap. It wasn't that I guess it was like I had compassion for her instead of just wanting to get rid of her and bury her, you know? And I think I had mentioned in a previous video that I'm a huge fan of Teal Swan, and she talks a lot about integration, and I've been doing the shadow work now for, over a year, and I always question, like, integration, am I doing it right? There is no question in my mind now that I integrated my inner child, my overweight Brooke. It honestly, I swear, if there were, I wish I could have a camera in there. The way that it felt, and like the way that I could just picture it, it felt like sorry, my cat's trying to get out. It felt like it was like I was like a puzzle, and I was getting like taken apart and put back together again. But like the piece, and I felt like my limbs were like, looked like the puzzle. Like they weren't like Legos, like, just straight. Like it was just like my since my limbs were so just like float, like weird position, like it just felt like it was being taken apart and like put back over here and then put back over here. And yeah, the second night was painful. I had some dry heaving, didn't throw up. I, purged in different ways, but, some crying, and it was this, my first ayahuasca experience was just like this painful, like deep grief. And it was just such like it was almost like I was holding myself. And it was a level of compassion I never felt for myself before. And one of my main things that I've always wanted out of a partner, friend, family members is protection. I can see from other people's perspective how it seems like when someone doesn't, I'm just going to use a stupid example, but like agree with me, like maybe like they think that I overreact. But I think it comes from more of my inner child wanting to be protected, because I felt that I was not very protected when I was younger. And so I felt like this trip, I really made peace with my ego. And that might be something that a lot of spiritual teachers are against, you are not your thoughts, and I agree with all of that. But I know I've heard some teachers say too that like having an ego is part of this earth school, this earth experience. It's not going anywhere. So I don't even know if maybe they even talked about making friends with it, but that was something that I experienced the second night too, was like realizing that in a lot of ways my ego has been the type of friend that I've always wanted, the type of boyfriend I've always wanted. Family member, So, I had to ask it, to, take a smaller role in my life. Like, I actually really appreciate everything. Like, I know the ego gets a bad rap, and I fully understand that, but it was just kind of like, oh shit, like it's been there. It's been there in a way for me that I've always wanted other people to be. And the protection part. And like obviously I didn't because of that, in the unconscious aspect of it, I didn't react to a lot of things in the right way, but so it was just like understanding that it maybe ego does sometimes have the best intentions from what they know, just like a parent, for the most part people aren't doing bad things consciously. It's a lot of unconscious stuff. They're doing the best from what they were taught, from what they know, and that's why I kind of feel like my ego, like, it was trying to be there for me the only way it knew, by getting in fights and all this other great stuff. But I really made peace with it, and I asked it to take a smaller role in my life. And gosh, like, I explained the first video of my first ayahuasca experience, that when I came out of it, the next day everything was like softer. Like everything looked around me, like all the colors and everything looked a lot softer. But like this trip, when I the next morning, Sunday morning, now it's been almost a week since my trip. I feel softer, which is something I've always considered myself like, a compassionate person. And, when I found out what an empath was, I was like, oh, that's me for sure. But like, this is that first time I've actually felt soft. So yeah, no like really crazy visuals this time, unlike the first time. But there was a couple things that were interesting. At one point, like my eyes were fluttering, like they were like I can't even do it as fast as they were. And I don't know what the point of that was. It wasn't really a third eye activation, although I did feel vibrations right there, but I usually feel vibrations right there anyway. So I don't know, maybe it was just like connecting everything. Another thing, going back to the snake, at one point, like when I felt like I fully integrated on Saturday night, I could, one of the guardians was playing this song that he played the first trip that I went on, and it's just some song he made up. It's so beautiful, and I loved it, and like right away my body just started moving, and I was laying down, like I was one of those people that's like dancing as I'm laying down, and it was just like moving like a snake. And then I could visualize my inner child so happy dancing with this snake, and like the snake was standing up, and my inner child was like dancing with it, and my body was moving. And then I felt like this, I think I was actually before that, I felt this, my body, because the prior night too, my body had been moving like in a snake motion, but this time was a little bit different. On Saturday night, after I felt like I fully integrated, it like, went up my spine, and then I had my neck laying like that, and then like it felt like someone just kind of went like, and my neck like automatically turned straight. And then I felt this surge of energy go all the way up my spine. And I know that was some sort of kundalini energy. I don't know if there's a difference between kundalini awakening or just kundalini energy, and I honestly haven't gone too depth into that. I know enough about it to know that everything that I have read and heard about it, I mean, there's no question in my mind that's what it was. So yeah, if there's a couple of differences between kundalini energy and kundalini awakening, at minimum, I experienced the kundalini energy, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, I also, since coming back from the trip a week ago, I feel so much more grounded and present. And that is something that I've explained in my videos before that has been a struggle for me. And, I'm not saying like I don't have to remind myself, okay, but it's different now. It comes a little bit more of a flow instead of like a constant reminder. But I mean, I cannot recommend ayahuasca enough. Someone said that it's like 10 years worth of psychotherapy in a weekend. And yeah, I mean, I even remember on Saturday night when it was a little heavier than Friday night, I was like, like this, it's not as bad as like in January, but this is probably going to be my last time. And it was the same thing, what I thought in January. I was like, this is probably my last time. I'm never going to, well, it was actually more like, fuck this, I'm never doing this again. But Sunday morning, a week ago, it was the same feeling. It was just like, yeah, I get it. I get why these people do it often, and I'm definitely coming back. Another thing that I've noticed since coming back from my journey is that I've been able to actually connect with my spirit guides now, or they might be my angels. I can't see them. I know I've always kind of had. I've never been able to see them, or like, you know, wonder, like I've said things to them, but I don't know if I've ever gotten a response back. Because, you know, they say one of the ways they can communicate to you is through your thoughts. And so I was always questioning, like, is that them? Is that me? And then when I learned you are not your thoughts, is that just my thoughts, my ego? I had one experience a couple days ago. It was semi in dream sleep, like kind of when you're in between worlds. It was very evident that I was talking to my spirit guides. And I think acknowledging the baby steps is going to make the picture way more clear. I mean, my dreams now, I'm able to, I've always been able to really connect to the dream realm more easily, but, you know, still, like, even I think the most expert of dream travelers, which I'm not claiming to be, can still admit that it's kind of fuzzy, you know? And I feel like they're getting really, really crystal clear now. It seems to be like my spirit guides in my dreams are still kind of communicating to me in like puzzle pieces, but I feel like I am able to understand those puzzle pieces better now and put them together. It's not like they're just telling me, oh, these are the lotto numbers. It's not like that yet. But it's more like just giving it in a way where before I'd be like, well, I don't know what that means, and now I'm like, okay, I think I got it. And then like the next day I'll see things or hear things that will be just like right on. So just like an open, just be more grounded maybe into this earth is making me really be able to connect more to the outside, which is, you know, I've always heard like answers are in here, not out there. But I mean, yeah, I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. Hopefully this was interesting, and I'll see you next time.